Many of you want to own my work, and it's just in time for the shopping season. I have two stores. This one is for my comic book stores. This is over at Shopify, called the Doug TeNapel Library, and you can get my hardbound books printed in America. They come to you in a cool shipping box that I designed myself, all of it hand-packed and the highest quality material made in America. These are hardbound books. Created, written, and drawn by me. They're great for the coffee table. They're really bright, beautiful stories for the whole family. The other store is my Fourth Wall store that has my merchandise for Doug in Exile. There's t-shirts, mugs, mouse pads. You click the item, you pick the size, and you put it in your cart, and we ship it to you. There's a link in the description of every video below. Thank you for supporting my work. Adam Schiff comes amazingly close to learning why the Democrats lost the last election. It's important that he not learn so they don't adjust and don't ever win again. Welcome to John Mike Keene.
Election and talk a little bit about what you think may have gone wrong. You joined this program a month before the election and you talked about Vice President Harris's chances of winning. Take a look at this.
By the standards of today, I think she can win overwhelmingly. Given how divided the country is, overwhelming may be winning by 100,000 votes or 80,000 votes in these key battleground states. I think that's within her capacity to do. So I think we are well poised to win this thing.
Compared to Biden allegedly winning the 2020 election with 20 million votes that vanished, Kamala Harris, he's only predicting she'd win by 80 to 100,000 in some of the battleground states, is not a huge sign of confidence even back then.
Why do you think that Kamala Harris didn't win and win overwhelmingly?
Well, I think Joe Biden's decision to step aside and pass the torch was the right decision. It gave us a chance to win. It didn't give us a guarantee. And I thought she could win. And I thought she could win in all the battleground states. But ultimately, what we saw both in this country and around the world was a very strong anti-incumbent wave that took out both progressives and conservatives. And our party became associated with the status quo.
The status quo of failure is what ultimately caused them to go down. What's more scary to me is I want to make sure that he does not learn, because it's not just status quo. It's they had losing policies that they were trying to double down on.
And that was too much to overcome. I think the principal issue is the economy. And over years and even decades, it's gotten more and more difficult for people working full time to make a living. And until we resolve that challenge, the economy, we may find the presidency is easier to get than it is to keep.
To keep the presidency, you have to do more than just own all of media and brainwash everyone. You have to actually produce results. That's why Democrats have an easier time getting the presidency, but unable to keep it.
Pelosi said that he actually should have stepped aside sooner, that could have made a significant difference in the outcome of this election. Do you agree with the Speaker Emerita?
Well, she has far better political instincts than I do. I think it's difficult because had we gone to a competitive primary, for example, what would the results of that primary been? How ugly and divisive and chaotic would it have been? Very hard to tell in advance.
I'm glad that he admits that they did not have a legit primary, at least, that they took that away by choice.
But I do think the Democratic Party has to recognize the challenge we have, which is for too many millions of battleground voters, working people, they don't think we represent them. And we have to make that case anew.
Or make that case, period. You never made that case that you were for the working class voters. So you don't have to make it anew. You have to make it for the first time ever, Adam.
But Senator-elect, do you believe that President Biden bears some responsibility for staying in too long?
Look, I think the entire Democratic Party bears a responsibility, myself included, and the former president.
I like that he's taking some personal responsibility as opposed to just pinning it all on Joe Biden for not getting out in time. Many of you want to own my work, and it's just in time for the shopping season. I have two stores. This one is for my comic book stores. This is over at Shopify, called the Doug TeNapel Library, and you can get my hardbound books printed in America. They come to you in a cool shipping box that I designed myself, all of it hand-packed and the highest quality material made in America. These are hardbound books. Created, written, and drawn by me. They're great for the coffee table. They're really bright, beautiful stories for the whole family. The other store is my Fourth Wall store that has my merchandise for Doug in Exile. There's t-shirts, mugs, mouse pads. You click the item, you pick the size, and you put it in your cart, and we ship it to you. There's a link in the description of video below. Thank you for supporting my work.
The challenge that we have is we need to put forward a bold vision for how we're going to move the economy forward, make the economy work for every American. To me, the existential question is, if you're working hard in America, can you still earn a good living? And too many people doubt that that's possible.
They doubt it's possible because of how fast inflation picked up. And the Democrats would not address it. Look, they never thought Trump had a chance. And not just Democrats, a couple of rhinos too.
Donald Trump's never going to be president of the United States again. And it becomes more and more clear to me every day.
And what is clear in the past is different than what is clear today. Looking backwards, I'm John Mike Keene with 2020 hindsight. Thank goodness, thank the Lord that Trump won.